Climate science tells us that as the Earth's atmosphere warms, droughts are becoming more frequent and lasting longer. Californians are well aware. The state suffered one of its worst droughts ever from 2011 until last year. In 2018, it's Cape Town, South Africa in the news. Now in its third year of drought, Cape Town is preparing for the day when it just might have no water at all.
This is Cape Town, world famous for its breathtaking scenery, Table Mountain, beautiful beaches, stunning winelands. It is a major tourist destination. But this is Cape Town's water supply. Reservoirs, which depend solely on rainwater, are dangerously low, bone dry in places, and they are Cape Town's only source of water. According to the experts, Cape Town is experiencing its worst drought in 100 years. Average annual rainfall should be around 21 inches per year. Last year, it was down to 6 inches. The drought has lasted 3 years. The reservoirs, there are 6 major ones, are in the mountainous areas, 45 miles outside the city. The biggest is Theewaterskloof, usually a popular spot for recreational boaters, but not these days. And the levels continue to drop to 18.5% of capacity recently, pushing the city to the brink of what they call around here day zero. That would be if and when the levels reach a low of 13.5%. When that happens, Cape Town will cut the water supply to most of the city. It will mean mass distribution at 200 water points, limits of 25 liters a day per person, about 6 gallons.
I think the question on everyone's minds is, how did Cape Town get here? 2013, we had the record rainfall year. We had lots and lots of water. Dams were full. 2014, we had a drop in those dams. When we got to 1st of October, which is the end of the rainy season in 2015, we had dams that were 78% full. In 2016, they were 58% full. In 2017, they were 38% full.
Entered a phase where it is anticipated the real possibility of day zero.
We will not allow a well-run city to run out of water. So we now have to plan that we are going to be in this permanent drought because the scarcity that is there is the new normal.
The one day you've got the mayor saying a well-run city will never run out of water, and the very next day she says if you residents don't stop using water as much as you are, there'll be no water left by December.
The point about planning for water is you have to look a long way ahead. Cape Town City in particular thought they would be able to get away with doing nothing until 2022.
Premier of the Western Cape, Helen Zille, was set to meet with the National Disaster Management Team yesterday, and she's also reported to have written a letter to President Jacob Zuma asking him to declare the water situation a national disaster.
The projection is that Cape Town will run out of water sometime early in April. That means you have to save water as if your life depends on it.
At this point, the chance of reaching day zero is now very likely. We can no longer ask people to stop wasting water. We now have to force them.
And this is an absolute disaster waiting to happen on both sides. When they do communicate, all they do is they deflecting blame from one party to the other, from national to provincial and back, or national to municipal. This is not helping anybody at all. We're just simply not listening to science.
saying day zero seems to be on the horizon.
Disaster at all. It's entirely a man-made disaster because the information that's been available to the scientific community has suggested that this is going to happen for some time now, and it's simply been ignored with the plan, because right now the plan that there is, I'm afraid, is not very well thought through.
The city has launched an aggressive campaign to avoid day zero. Mandatory limits, 13 gallons per person per day. No washing of cars, no watering gardens. This man was spotted using a hose. The police swooped in. He only avoided a fine when it was explained it was well water purchased elsewhere and trucked in. Cape Townians have drastically cut their water usage, and it's had a positive impact.
Cape Town managed to reduce its water consumption by more than half since 2014 by ramping up restrictions. Residents can only use 13 gallons a day, less than the average American uses for one shower.
Attention.
And the city has deployed police to fine anyone using more than their share.
I confirm, are you on site already? Okay, now we're going to Philippi. This is where we're experiencing a lot of car washes. Now, we're not just after the car washes, and wherever we get a water complaint, we will attend to it. Exactly, see, he's washing a vehicle. See there, he's washing the vehicle again. Can you see the way they waste water? See? Is a dadam, sunshia, but dadam, sunshia. Yabon, amanzi, when's I'm done? Ndiyaphinda ndiyabuyela kuwe veri namhlanje. Nawe umosha amanzi pha. Benukuxelele last time ba suthatha, don't do this. Look at the vehicles standing here. I want to see now, where do you get this water? This is the pipe. Can you see now? And you don't want to listen, and we told you many times. Song, roll. Okay, put this one. That's a tag. I told you I'm gonna give you a fine. When we issue fines, we're just trying to educate them, as you did here now. I was here yesterday, and I'm back at this guy, and then he's still doing the same thing. As soon as we leave now, this guy might go and buy a hose pipe again, and then he's gonna carry on with this. I call BPI in the next 20 miles, BP garage. You know, there's officers also issuing fines here, so I just want to see. You see, this is the clean water they're using. Can you see the clean drinking water? We told them to use buckets. That was level 3. Now is level 0. Understand? So we told them, no buckets, no water. That means now the car wash must close. This is what we're telling them.
Yeah, we are worried also about water, but you see, what's the solution now? Yeah, it's a place where there's crime. Crime is happening. Now you stop car wash, things gonna get worse out of it. We have kids, we have fathers, you see, we've got responsibilities, man. Please make a plan, man, soon for us.
And are you only doing it in these informal settlement neighborhoods, this police water forcing?
No, we're doing it all over Western Cape.
Today we are in Constantia, and this is an area that is, it's a very affluent neighborhood.
It's very green around here.
Yes, it is, and I wonder why. In the more underprivileged areas, illegal consumption is conspicuous. You can see it. There are no eye walls to hide. But here, in these areas, these people use way more water than the people use in the townships. But, as I said, very difficult to detect. If you have the means and you can sink a borehole or a well point, or you can install tanks on your property and harvest rainwater, then by all means you can do that. And even that is regulated in terms of the water bylaw. It says that you can only use your borehole water for an hour on a Tuesday and then on a Saturday. So you'll find people will use their borehole every single day, and that is illegal. Oh, there we go. Good day to you, sir.
Good day.
City of Cape Town Law Enforcement. We're going around checking all the people for compliance with the bylaw. I see you watering.
I'm checking somebody's irrigation. It's my living.
Mm-hmm. Now we have a problem here in that this stuff is not supposed to be running at this time.
Well, when am I meant to come in? It's my living.
I understand.
It's my living. I am now being restricted. I can't make a light.
Yeah.
What
This
do I do?
all of us are inconvenienced. All of us have a major issue. I know even businesses are having problems, but we're all expected to comply with the law. You know. So in this particular case now, this is a transgression, and we're gonna have to issue a fine. Okay.
I will go to court to fight this R1,000 fine.
It's actually 2,500. It was 2,500.
Fine for me.
Yeah.
If you want to show this anything, I can't say what I want to say, but they can go and do, you know what, to themselves.
Those are mine. And who's the big? No, those are mine. Great. Come on.
You cannot make a profit out of water. Water is necessary for life. It doesn't mean if you don't have money, you can't get water. No, we must provide water for everybody, and it must be free.
Water crisis, man. Do you see any rich white people suffering from a water shortage? Huh? Say it with me. Hell no! Go to those overpriced hotels down the road. You can run that bath water until it floods. There's no water crisis there. But I bet you've got no water in your house. I bet you've got no water in your house.
You
I love gardening, and I've lost a lot in my garden with this drought. It's heartbreaking to watch it all die.
No more prostitution! No more drug addicts! No more alcoholics! No more fear! Faith in God! Repentance! Repentance means coming back to God. I will open rivers in high places and fountains in the midst of the valley. God is speaking to you, South Africa. Amen. I am a consuming fire. No repentance, no salvation. No repentance, no rain. Faith in God. Forgive our sins, bring rain to the land. First the spiritual, and then the rain's coming. Plenty rain.
Who's going to tell the truth about what's actually going on so that people can arm themselves?
What happened? What went wrong? Essentially in 2007, as part of these reconciliation studies, a study was published for the Western Cape supply system, as it's called. One of the things that we had done in the department was to set up a planning system. And it said, look, at current rates, by 2012, 2015, you will need to provide more water. And to get that extra water, here are some things you can do. So those options were all put on the table as long ago as 2007, with the warning that by 2015, you are going to have to do some of these things. And they weren't done. In 2013 and 2014, there were some really good rains. And as a result, when it rains, people don't use as much water. And so what had happened during the wet season is not only had consumption in the city gone down, but the farmers hadn't used their full allocations, which made it look like that there was more water available. So what you find is that the consumption had gone down, and the mistake that the Cape Town officials made was to assume that all of that reduction was because of their efforts to encourage water saving, and that was a very serious mistake. But they were warned, and they chose to ignore the warning on a number of occasions. And they even boasted about how effective their water savings campaigns had been, and because of this, it'll only be in 2022 we'll need more water. And I think what we learned from that is it's very dangerous to be overconfident. And I think it was overconfidence that led to bad management decisions that have meant that interventions that could have been started haven't yet been actually initiated.